Hello, everybody. I'm so pleased to see everyone. Couldn't be more pleased. I want to start. Let me start. This is like an event, not just in my life, but certainly with respect to the University of Hawaii. I guess it's no news to anybody who has been associated with the university for the past more than half centuries. I have 55 years now. How much it means to me, how much the university means to me. You've heard me say more than once, I bleed green. And this today really is a marker in my life, and certainly in terms of my fidelity and loyalty to the University of Hawaii and to all it means to Hawaiʻi. This is my little card carrier. I have my card from Sister Maureen Kelleher, who gave me the prayer of St. Francis when I first came into the legislature, to remind me that she was in charge and had a direct line to St. Francis. and it has my little talisman from Mahatma Gandhi that I got in India about what we need to do to address the question of the poorest among us and to try to establish a perspective for ourselves. It has my Auntie Paki's not so much admonition, but reminder to us of what aloha is all about, expressed to us in the various meanings of aloha. And there's one that precedes all of it. And this is my card from October 1970, registration number 60 of Hawaii United Federation of College Teachers, the Hawaii chapter. This was my membership in the organization for the very first faculty union at the University of Hawaii 44 years ago. One of my colleagues was John Morton, right here. Don't remind me. You know, that was 44 years ago. I was a graduate teaching assistant, and I was asked to be on the board because I was trying to organize graduate teaching assistants to say that we had our contracts with the University of Hawaii, and that those contracts guaranteed us collective bargaining rights. That's all we were after. Wasn't wages, it wasn't benefits. As a matter of fact, as many of you know, I mean, I've probably been a member of Kaiser Permanente longer than anybody else around now, going back to when Henry Kaiser used to go to the old Kaiser facility there, where the Hawaii Prince is now. That was the Kaiser Hospital and pharmacy and everything else. And UH professors were part of that facility. The university has been connected to everything. I understand that we have a fire ant situation we're coming to grips with today, and David Duffy, right from the faculty, the president of the faculty union, is an expert on dealing with that. The university, right? I mean, those fire ants are even cooperating with us today by indicating how the university is so essential to the very social and economic and fabric of the state of Hawaii. So it's with a great deal of pleasure, a genuine pleasure and satisfaction that this graduate teaching assistant from 44 years ago is able to announce today a 2-year tentative agreement for the University of Hawaii faculty, which will of course enable us to have a very solid foundation going into the next legislative session in terms of budget projections and we believe to help keep tuition affordable. The faculty has and and the administration at the university have been working very, very hard to craft an agreement that will be fair to the faculty and recognizes the tuition circumstances of UH students. It's an unprecedented agreement in the fact that it's being concluded so far ahead of time. This is not going down to the wire and clashing and confrontation. On the contrary, what we decided to do and hoped it would set a standard for collective bargaining for all public employees as we move forward is to let's put the mission in front of us and let's see what we can do together to bring a conclusion that is fair and encouraging to all public employees, and at the same time serves the public interest of the broader public as well, and meet all the requirements of collective bargaining in the process. So that it is absolutely clear to me today that this mission that I started out on 44 years ago, never having the slightest notion at that time that I would have the responsibility and the capacity to work a collective bargaining contract that I believe sets not only a standard but enables the university to move forward under the leadership of President Lassner in a very progressive manner, with full confidence that the faculty and the university as an institution is recognized as one of our most precious resources. So I congratulate the University of Hawaii Professional Assembly, which is the current and contemporary manifestation of the faculty union process that started 44 years ago. And I believe leads the way in providing for a quality higher education, preparing our students to enter society and the economy, and to attract internationally renowned research from a teaching aspect, from a research aspect, from a community service aspect. The University of Hawaii is the heart and soul of what Hawaii is all about. And so I couldn't be more pleased than to be with these gentlemen today. And so I would like to introduce first then to perhaps elucidate a little bit more on the agreement and the process and the significance of the agreement for the faculty. My old friend and colleague, J.N. Musto, who I believe is going to be retiring after this session, and from my point of view, is doing so at the peak of his career with a I believe, a singular triumph of what it means to bargain collectively on behalf of not only his membership, but on behalf of the people of the state of Hawaii. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you. As you can see, all through the years, Governor Abercrombie and I have always seen eye to eye.
In more ways than one.
Exactly. I want to thank, first of all, David Lassner. David Lassner, even though he was in an interim position, took the bold step of coming forward and being willing to address the idea that we might be able to reach a collective bargaining agreement without the general animus that has characterized perhaps the last 40 years of bargaining between UHPA and the university administration. Even when we were able to reach agreements that were quite good and beneficial to the bargaining unit in general, the tone of the bargaining always played out like a kabuki dance. This time, there was no kabuki. It's as if we cut away all of the other things in between and came down to the final moments and said, how can we rationally reach a good agreement that meets the needs of the faculty, the needs of the university, the students, and the community at large? And it's extraordinary, and it is not an over-exaggeration to say it's historic. Part of this comes as the end result of 40 years of UHPA representing the university faculty and having developed successively more mature agreements, so that we are at a place now where our collective bargaining agreement does not need to constantly be radically redone. And by the way, that applies probably to all of the other public sector unions in this town. And it is my hope that those unions as well will be able to find the same kind of understanding that came from Governor Abercrombie and President Lassner that led to this agreement today. The financial settlement is, in a nutshell, a 4% across the board salary increase in the 2 years of FY16 and 17, plus some additions to our minimum salaries, including the establishment of a minimum salary set for faculty who are on 11-month appointments. It addresses the needs of our adjunct and our temporary faculty, our lecturers. Yay! Yay! It is a very good agreement from that perspective, and there should be no doubt about it. It also happens to fall within the range of the settlements that have already been reached by UPW, HGEA, and HSTA over the same time period. But in addition to that, the university and UHPA have committed themselves to try and take action on some broader issues, and we've agreed to this within the context of our contract, to try and deal with the issues of workforce housing, child care, paid child care leave, and distance and online learning. All of these are critical, not just to the university, not just to faculty, but to the community at large. And with respect to the first three items, we believe that the only solutions that are viable are ones that can be transferred from the university to the community, to other public sector employees, and to the private sector in general. So with that, I'm extraordinarily pleased and hopeful about the future. As Governor Abercrombie, I have announced that on August 31st, 2015, I would retire after 35 years as Executive Director of the Faculty Union. And it was my obvious concern that perhaps we would be in a situation once again where our contract would have expired on June 30th, but we would not have reached an agreement during the 2015 legislative session, meaning we would have been without a contract on July 1st of 2015, and the public would have been faced with our right to strike as an impasse resolution mechanism. That has been avoided. It is something that we will not have to go to, and for that, I am extremely pleased. I have never, I think, ever shirked my responsibility to represent the faculty vigorously. And if we needed to strike, I have recommended it, and when necessary, we have walked out. But that is not the end game. And if anyone thinks it is the end game, they do not understand what collective bargaining is all about. And in our state, I believe, as the Constitution and Chapter 89 state, what it represents is the modern way of decision-making that incorporates the administration and its employees in determining the conditions of their employment and service. Thank you for indulging me probably more than I should have been indulged.
It's okay, it's the last time, Jay.
This is the last time. I want to say to everyone, aloha.
How about it for JN? Thank you. Great work. And now, in perhaps one of the first really official pronouncements, other than policy and other things of importance within the university, I couldn't be more pleased than to be able to introduce President Lassner to speak about the importance of the agreement as far as the university is concerned. David, congratulations.
So, I'm seldom the briefest speaker at an event, but I think I can pull it off today. So let me just echo the sentiments of the governor and JN. This is a very, very happy day for the university. We were, and I want to acknowledge JN's leadership in suggesting this. I would say before I started as interim president, he was on my radar with this notion of trying to reach a very early settlement. And I don't know that any of us believed it would be possible to reach a tentative agreement more than a year in advance, but that's what we have done. For the university, this just provides immense stability in understanding the financial commitments, but also in understanding that we're working together with our faculty to advance the institution, both in terms of the financial aspects of the agreement. Several of the specific clauses that Jan mentioned are really looking after the people toward the bottom of the faculty pay scale as well. And also addressing some of the key issues that have come up within the university that have also been concerns of the Board of Regents as well. So let me thank Dr. John Morton, Vice President Morton, who probably may have card number 61, although I don't think he still has it, but he was part of that original faculty union pre-UPA as well, and has led UH negotiations many times, and I was very grateful to have his experience and expertise available. Board Chair John Holzman and Vice Chair James Lee, who are here today, when we briefed the Board of Regents about where we were heading once we had the framework, the board expressed full support for moving ahead with this agreement, and we're hopeful that the faculty will approve it as soon as they're back at work in August, those who are not at work all summer, of course, which is many, many of them. And finally, let me thank the governor and the administration. We hammered out most of this together with UH and UPA, and especially John and JN leading the charge with Dr. Dave Duffy and myself assisting as well. And when we brought this to the governor personally, his team financially vetted it, compared it to the other agreements, and we got a very prompt and favorable response, working through some issues. And I think, as Jan said, there was no acrimony. We all worked together to come to an agreement that I think everyone is really quite pleased with, and we're looking forward to the support of the legislature next session. Thank you.
I'd like to give the opportunity then to, in the wake of President Lassner's remarks about how it took a team to do this, I do want to recognize Neil Dietz from our Office of Collective Bargaining, who is the quiet catalyst in all of this. Just as with Turtle Bay settlement, for example, you have the Blake O'Sheros, who, on behalf of the administration, use their good offices and to try to help effectuate agreements. Neil Dietz is the key for me and the administration in terms of making the negotiations move as smoothly as possible and move in an atmosphere and in a context of cooperation and coordination. I'm very grateful. And key to that, of course, on the line from the administration point of view is John Morton, and of course from the faculty for Dave Duffy. And I'd like each of them, perhaps John, you could say a word or two if you'd like on this occasion, and then we'll conclude with Dave Duffy for the faculty.
Thank you, Governor. As Jan mentioned, I've been involved in many of the bargaining sessions over the past 4 decades plus that I have been with the university. And indeed, many times they were acrimonious, no matter what the result. Getting there was not easy. In this case, I think we did build off of many decades of working together, understanding each other, understanding the issues on both sides of the table, that allowed us to reach this agreement. And as President Lassner said, having stability moving forward allows us to really focus on the good work that the university does for its students and for the community. And so I'm very pleased that we're able to be standing here in front of you 1 year before the agreement, the current agreement expires. Thank you.
Thank you.
You should never put a professor in front of an audience. I will try to be brief. Will be brief. This was an amazing thing for me to participate in. I was in the last negotiation. It was two large groups of people facing each other across a table. This one was 4 of us sitting around a coffee table and really trying to figure out what both sides needed. I'm hoping that if I ever am involved in another one of these, it'll go that well. And then when we went to the governor with the initial agreement, it was sweetness and light. He was all for getting to a solution. And so I've been left with a warm glow about negotiating that will probably be beaten out of me at the next one. And this finally, to me, it's a year before it's due, and it gives us a chance. We've had uncertain and interesting times at the university, and this is a chance for us to put those behind us, to move forward, work with the administration, and try to do what the faculty do best, which is teach, do research and scholarship, and do outreach. So I'd like to thank everybody for getting to this point. It was an honor working with them all, and I look forward to a good future. Thank you.
Finally, then, I want to thank the Board of Regents for their steadfast support of the process. Absent the certainty that the Regents trusted us and had confidence in us to be able to succeed, this would have been so much more difficult. So I think this bodes well. As President Duffy said, there's been some difficult times for the universities, some controversial episodes have taken place, so we believe that the faculty agreement, the collective bargaining agreement, it gives from the Regents right straight through the entire university community the opportunity with the beginning of President Lassner's presidency to not only have a new beginning, but to have a very solid foundation from whence to move forward for the university and for the community at large. And with that, we're concluded, and unless there are some questions or some observations anybody would care to make at this point, I just want to say congratulations to all. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.